Welcome to the Pulse Check podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Sammy. Grab your beverage of choice and let's get right into it. Welcome back, you guys. We're now on to our second week of podcasting.
Crazy.
We're so
Yes.
happy to be here. So we're just going to start off with what we're drinking. Sarah, you tell them.
Today we shared a lime slush Alani. We had
Mhm.
already had caffeine this morning when we both worked out, so we decided 400 milligrams is maybe a little too much today.
Yeah.
So we split a lime slush Alani.
Exactly. A little too much for our hearts. So
It can only take so much.
Exactly. Okay, Sarah, did anything crazy happen for you this week at work?
Yes. So on one of my shifts, we had a rapid response that we had to call right before shift change. I swear everything happens right before shift change. But it was crazy because I'm training to be a charge nurse, and
Yes.
just hours before, my trainer, she asked me, she was like, okay, we're in a rapid response. What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
And so we had been talking about that just a couple hours before. And then we actually had to call one. And it was crazy. Like kind of trying to run the whole thing and observing and also seeing everyone involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably my crazy experience of my shift.
Which is crazy. Those can get really intense. And it always happens like during shift change. Like when you're passing off report to the next nurse, it's like happens right before that, which is so fun.
So that was mine. What about you, Sarah?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
I love this question. This is such a good question. I, this week, had a patient pull out their chest tube legit like 10 minutes before I had to pass them off to the next. Let me just set the scene. Let me set the scene
for everyone, please.
Yeah. So, where we work, our shift change is like 6 o'clock, like 6 p.m., 6 a.m. Obviously, Sarah and I are night shift nurses, so we get there and we get report at 6 p.m. However, we give report at 6 a.m. At around, I think it was 5:45, I go to grab Keppra for one of my patients that needed it because they had, a little history of some seizures, and that's what Kepra's for. And I was going to give it to them. I was giving it to them IV push. And for those who don't know, Keppra needs to be given over 5 minutes. Okay. I go in, start giving this med. I'm about 2 minutes into giving it. And
halfway through.
Yeah, so close, but yet so far. True. I get a call and from one of my techs, and they tell me that my patient, who is confused, a little background on them, pulled out their chest tube. And keep in mind, it is 10 minutes away from me giving report on this patient. We don't normally get chest tubes on our floors.
We really don't.
No, so I was confused, but I couldn't leave my patient that I was giving this Keppra to.
No.
So I tell my tech, I say, okay, find the closest gauze that you can find. My tech, a little nervous because there is blood everywhere. Not to get a little intense here, but there's blood everywhere. I then call my charge, who was training Sarah at the time. Yay! I'm so happy Sarah was there. But I call them and I'm like, I'm with my patient right now that needs Keppra and I can't leave them. I need you to run in and do this. And they were like, okay, so they run in. What you have to do with the chest tube is that you kind of just need to close it up with some gauze and put some tape over it and make sure that you don't hear any wheezing.
Because that is the lung collapse.
Exactly.
We do not want to hear.
Yeah, and they had a chest tube because they had a hemothorax. So that's also blood filling up in that pleural space. Wow, I just feel so educational.
You're so smart. Yes. See, that's one of our reasons we started this podcast to educate.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm doing. And I even learned from this whole experience too, because that was a crazy experience. But I had to run in there after giving this Keppra, and my wonderful charge nurse at the time was packing his opening up. And I obviously had to give report to the next nurse in like 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm so sorry I'm leaving this with you, but I'm going home to sleep.
That is
And
so
that's how it has to be
wild.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. But that's okay. Anyways, so this week we're talking about our nursing journeys.
Yay.
And Sarah's just gonna start us off. She's gonna tell us her story, how she is, where she started, and how she is where she is now. Okay, Sarah, start us off.
Okay, yes, I love my own personal nursing journey. I went to UVU, so that's Utah Valley University in Orem. But I started there. I did the prereqs, and I actually remember I was on one of my last prerequisite courses, and I was taking it in the summer so that I could apply in the fall.
Yeah.
And start as soon as as soon as that class was done. But that summer, my grandpa ended up passing away unexpectedly.
I hate when they do that. I hate when they do that.
So sad. It rocked my whole world. It really did, because my grandpa was just everyone's best friend, and we were really close to him. And so when that happened, I kind of just mentally shut down for a few weeks. And my professor was so nice. She really tried to help me get back into things, but I ended up not finishing that course. So that actually set me back almost a whole year in my nursing journey. And I remember being really discouraged about that, because I already felt like I was a little bit older in college. And so having that setback just was kind of frustrating to me. But it ended up being okay. And I was able to finish that class and take some classes that I was going to need to take anyways in the program. So it all worked out. I was able to apply the next year to the program, and I got in. And UVU does their program. You get your associate degree for 4 semesters, and then you can take the NCLEX and start working as a registered nurse, and then take the bachelor's online for 2 semesters. So it's really amazing, because you can get in the workplace faster.
Yeah.
So I really, really loved UVU. I loved all my friends, the clinicals, and my 4th semester was where I did my capstone. So we had to do 90 hours. Did you have to do 90?
We had
120.
We had to do 135.
Oh my gosh.
Where I went,
Really?
which is crazy.
Yeah.
But where did you do your capstone?
I did it at Utah Valley Hospital.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So I think I did 90 hours. Maybe it was 120.
Okay.
No, but
that's okay.
Don't
that's okay.
But I did it on a med surg floor, and then I actually got married 2 months. I think it was 2 months after graduating from nursing school.
Yeah.
So I kind of put off taking the NCLEX. I had a job that I really liked. I was in supply chain at a little startup company, and I actually didn't want to quit my job.
Yeah.
I had just spent all this time, money, energy, effort on nursing school, and I did not want to go be a nurse.
Right.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. I love being a nurse now, I promise.
Yes.
But at the time, it was just really hard to leave my job. So anyways, I got married, hadn't taken the NCLEX. It's been a few months, and they really recommend you take the NCLEX within 6 weeks of graduating, just so you can retain everything.
Yeah.
It's been a lot longer than that. So anyways, here I am studying for the NCLEX, and so I go in and take it. I don't pass. And I was so devastated. I had actually been hired on already. So I had been hired at the place I did my capstone, and where I work, they'll hire you without even having your license yet, because the training is almost 3 months. So they give you extensive training,
which is so nice. That's
so nice.
really nice. Yeah, because you feel set up. You feel okay, I'm ready to go after I get
So which is so awesome. They give you so much training, but they expect you to pass the NCLEX.
High expectations.
By the time you're done training, you're expected to pass the NCLEX. So first time I take it, I don't pass. And I talk to my manager, and you can take it, man, is it every 60 days?
I think it's every 45. Every 45. I probably felt like 60.
It felt like a long time.
Yeah.
So anyways, I had to retake it in 45 days, and that ended up being right when my training was going to be over.
Okay.
So my manager's like, it's okay. You just have to pass the next time, and you'll be solid.
Yeah.
So what do? I take the NCLEX again.
Yeah.
I don't pass.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. But
Yes.
like, okay, just like come back with me to that time.
How do you feel? Like, how do you feel at that time? After that second time? Like, how are you feeling?
Finding out that I didn't pass, I was devastated again. And I think the biggest feeling was I just felt like I had disappointed the people in my life that loved me the most. And that was so hard for me. I was disappointed, but I was more disappointed for other people, which is a whole nother thing because I'm a people pleaser, and we're working on that.
Sarah, it's okay though. It's okay. It's okay.
It's just so good to be like, okay, these were my true emotions.
Yes.
But anyway, so I didn't pass, and I go to my manager and I let her know, and she is so good about it. Like she really helped me through that time because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Shout out to her. Shout out to her. She's awesome.
Amazing.
Yes.
So I didn't know what I was going to do, but she told me that I could work as a tech on our floor, which honestly ended up working out because one, I had no idea what a CNA, basically, we call them techs, hospital, like patient care techs, but they're a CNA. I had no idea what they did in the hospital. So honestly, it like, and I was trying to be positive, but it worked out. It worked out in the end. So I became a tech. I got trained on our unit, but I remember feeling, I wouldn't say shame, but just like disappointed. And I was just so worried about what people were thinking about me, you know?
Right.
Like I had been training as a nurse on that floor and everyone knew that. And then for me to come in different color scrubs, knowing that I was a tech.
Yeah.
That was like honestly, guys, that was really hard for me. I remember just feeling like I needed to be really humble about that and to just be okay with it.
Super humbling. Yeah. Like super humbling.
So humbling.
Yeah.
But honestly, everyone was so supportive, and like people would come up to me and they would tell me, you know what, Sarah, it's okay. I had to take NCLEX a couple times too. And that was not the response I expected.
Right.
And it was so like, it made me feel so much better because I was, you know, I had to be humble about it. They were also able to be like, hey, like, you know, I don't share this, but I'm going to share this with you because this is hard for you. And it was hard for me as well. So that was like unexpectedly really supportive.
Like super vulnerable and like a super, it probably made them even feel closer to you though. Yeah. Like get a better relationship and be like, oh, like I'm able to share this with her and like become even more relatable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So thank you.
No,
I loved how you put that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I remember going in and taking the NCLEX for the third time. So this is, you know, I waited the 45 days. I go in and take it, and I remember driving back home.
Yes.
Okay, so each time I took the NCLEX, I got 150 questions.
Ugh.
So I just felt in my heart that I had failed again.
Yeah.
And that was, man, I made the audio. So I was driving home and I sent an audio to my friend, just like telling my feelings. I ended up starting to cry in this audio.
I mean, totally makes it. Yes.
Like, I felt so vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, for those who also don't know, like 150 questions on the NCLEX, everyone's worst nightmare.
That's the most you can get.
Yes, it's like, and that's everyone. Like, everyone's shooting for 85 questions. They're like, oh my gosh, if I get 85, I pass. Not true, by the way, not true. But 150, you're like, oh my gosh, that moment that you pass 85 questions and you're on to 86, you're like, I failed, I'm done. So you just keep fighting for your life, and it's like psychology. What is it called? Like
reverse psychology?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Or what is it like? Psychology, like warfare, like just
psychological warfare.
That's such a big word, Sarah. Yes,
we got it. We figured it out.
But yeah, like it's terrible. But keep going. Yes.
No, so okay, so then 150 questions, because so any question past 85, you're just freaking out.
Yes.
Like make that 150.
Like throw up everywhere.
Each time. So that was, I felt so defeated.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm driving home. I'm making this audio. And I just felt like halfway through it, like I was, you know, kind of emotional. But then I also realized, you know what? The people in my life who love me, they will love me no matter what I do. And no matter how many times I fail. And even when I fail at things that are important and things that I really shouldn't be failing at in life, I'm loved. And so that was like
a really
big moment for me. And then I remember I was sitting in a one-to-one, and for those of you who don't know a one-to-one is, because who would know what that
Yeah.
is a patient who needs basically a babysitter. Like they are in that patient's room the entire shift, watching over them, making sure that they're okay. And you can need a one-to-one for various reasons. But,
Right.
So I was in this patient's room with them the whole entire shift, and towards the end of the shift, I got an email. And it was from the Department of
wherever. Nursing maybe.
Department of whoever.
Yeah.
And it was the results of my NCLEX exam. And I remember staring at my phone and like just trying to breathe.
Yeah. Anxiety attack instantly.
Yeah. And like, kind of questioning myself if I was brave enough to open that here at work.
Right.
Or if I should wait until I, was home and could process that.
You should have had that patient open it for you. You're babysitting. Can you tell me what this is?
Please don't lie to me.
Yeah.
But so I decided, I waited probably 5 minutes, which felt like eternity to me. I decided to open it right in there.
Guts.
Yeah.
Brave. You're so brave, Sarah. You're so brave.
Thank you.
Yes.
I felt brave.
Yeah.
So I opened it and I just see PASS, like
and that's all they give you. That's all they give you. They send you pass or fail, and that's all they give. How are you feeling at that point?
Gosh. My heart was racing.
Yeah.
I felt so excited. I was so happy. Like the nurse came into the room just then to give the patient medication.
Yeah.
I just told her right then and there, "You're the first person to know this. I just passed the NCLEX."
Yeah.
And she gave me a big hug. She was so happy for me.
That's so good.
That was like so, just like, full circle.
Yes.
It was really hard, but I know that helped me become a better person. It helped me become a better, safer nurse.
Yes.
Because when I realized that really what the NCLEX is doing is it just wants to make sure you are going to be a safe nurse.
Exactly.
It helped me feel better, and I got more training out of it.
Yeah.
And one thing, I'll just finish by saying this.
Take your time, girl.
I loved it too. Yeah. One thing that one of my nursing friends told me was, oh my gosh, it just left me.
No. What was it? Wait a second.
Yeah, it was so good. But anyways, another thing she told me is, like, it doesn't mean you're a bad nurse if you had to take the NCLEX over again. It doesn't mean you're a bad nurse. And so I think I let that like fueled me to become a better nurse, knowing that I had failed at something that was important. And then it helped me study even harder and really make sure that I knew what I was doing when I did become a nurse.
Right.
And it helped me, double check myself and triple check myself before I gave medications or before I did an assessment on a patient or before I did anything in the hospital. I really was like more careful and more observant. So overall, it was a very hard lesson that is going to stay with me forever. And honestly, I'm grateful. Like, it made me I was able to understand what techs do in the hospital. And so honestly, now we're a better team because I know what a tech does. Right. And now I know what a nurse does. Right. I know how to work together to take better care of our patients.
Yeah, I think that's so good though, that you can, like, you've had that tech experience. So now you're like able to show like sympathy towards like if they don't have enough time to do something, or if they're crazy busy, or like you have to ask them to do something and you're just like, I'm sorry, like I know you're so busy, and you've experienced like everything that they have to do. So I think that's also a super humbling experience. So,
thank you.
That was so good, Sarah. I love your journey. Your journey is so good, and I feel like we can talk about it forever.
Thanks. Okay, I want to hear your story. Let's get into all of your journey.
It's such a fun little journey. But so I like going out of high school. I'm from Minnesota backgrounds. Yeah, love Minnesota. Not everything that's happening right now, but like it's so funny because people will ask me, like patients will ask me, they're like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Do I say that I'm from Minnesota? Because if I do, it's gonna open up a whole can of worms."
Am I ready for that?
I know, and sometimes I'm not mentally ready, so I'll just be like, "Oh, Utah, born and raised." Just kidding. Okay, and then so I came out here knowing that I wanted to go into nursing. So I started off at UVU. Very much Sarah girl. Yes. And I started doing my prerequisites there. However, they started like having me do English and math and like all the dumb prerequisites. Okay. Like even yoga and all these, like, which to some people it'll be so fun.
Yes.
But I was like, when am I ever gonna do yoga in nursing? And I was like, it was just not the vibe for me. So I was like, okay, if there is anywhere that I can go where I don't need to get my prerequisites, scrumptious. Let's figure that out. So first of all, that summer after my first year of UVU, after I did like prerequisites and stuff, I went and did summer sales.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was something else for craziness. I went out to California to do summer sales, and I did like pest control, which I mean, so fun, so not fun actually. Okay, it sucked, and it was so hot, I was dying, but it honestly like a super humbling and good experience, because I feel like if I didn't have that, I wouldn't like be as hard of a worker as I am. Not saying that I'm a hard worker now, but just like having so much fire underneath me and being able to talk to people as well as I do now, and like just be able to go on to anyone's level. I think that's the experience that it gave me, that I'm great with conversation and I'm great with like being able to get going and like put my passion towards something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm happy I got that experience, and I got to meet one of my bestest friends ever. Shout out Gracie girl in there. Yes, we love Gracie. But then I go back to Minnesota after I do sales. And I'm like, okay, I'm going back to Utah in January, and I'm going to start up nursing school. I found Joyce University through one of these girls that I did summer sales with. She told me about it and how she went there and how it's like crazy expensive, which it is. I don't highly recommend that. It is very expensive. However, it's accelerated. So you get done in like a year and a half to 2 years. Okay. So I start in January, get cooking with that, and then I graduate. It was the August.
Following August?
Yeah, like the August, a year and a half later to 2. Yeah, it was like a year and a half later, that August. So I graduate then, and then I get married, which was so amazing. It's so awesome. We love being married so much. I don't highly recommend doing everything in 1 month. However, that's what I decided to do. So I graduated nursing school. I got married, went on my honeymoon. Like you said, they tell you to like take the NCLEX 6 weeks like after. I again graduated in August, didn't take it until October. However, I do. Oh my gosh, I totally want to talk about my capstone experience though. So the capstone experience last semester of nursing school, I got to do labor and delivery, which is my dream, because I was a medical assistant at like a women's health place, which so perfect for you. I loved being a medical assistant, you guys. Like the nurse practitioners that I worked with, it's almost going to bring me to tears because I miss them so much and I miss working with them so much. And they like set me up for this capstone because like working in women's health, they were like, oh, let me get into this place for you. And I was like, oh, scrumptious. So then I got to do labor and delivery. Absolutely loved it. And I thought that's what I was going to do, like right out of nursing school. Yeah. Right. And I was like, hey, my full nursing career is going to be in women's health. So I obviously October 2nd, okay, take the NCLEX. I remember this day because it's also one of my other good friends' birthdays. Addie, shout out Addie, love her. Take the NCLEX. And I go into it like not confident. I'm like, I already know I'm going to fail this. I do not feel good about it. Mm-hmm. I go into it, like I said, big word, psychological warfare. Okay. Everyone told me like, okay, 85 questions and it stops. You're good. You're done. Yeah. I go, okay, scrumptious. Let's do that. That's great. That's great. And then I hit 86 questions and I was like, what's the point of trying anymore? I literally felt exactly. So I keep going. I don't even get 150 questions. It shuts off on me, and that's what the NCLEX does, by the way. It just shuts off when it decides you're a safe nurse or not a safe nurse, and you're just done. So it shuts off for me at 105 questions. And I go, what the freak? I didn't even know that was a possibility that it could stop at 105 questions. So I leave. I go into my car and I open ChatGPT. And I go, what does it mean?
Love that. What does this mean?
Exactly. What does it mean if your NCLEX shuts off at 105 questions?
Yeah.
And I was like, does it mean that I failed? And it legit told me, it goes, you have a less likely chance of passing, yes. However, the AI, like the whole thing is about whether or not you're a safe nurse, so it'll just stop once it makes that decision about you.
Yeah.
So I was like, great. It has all the information it needed to not even let me go to 150 and let me know that I am not a safe nurse. And it was like, okay, we're just going to stop right here because she's going to kill somebody. No. I haven't, you guys. Okay, that I have not done that, I promise. But yeah, so then I go home and I take a shower, I get comfy, and I lay in my bed and I just cry. I legit am in my bed, bawling my eyes out. I texted some of the nurse practitioners I work with and I go, I'm bawling right now. I definitely failed that. And I took it on Thursday. October 2nd was a Thursday. So I was like, oh, beautiful. I'll get my answer on Friday. No,
didn't happen.
And what's so funny about that is when my husband got home from work that day, he comes home and he sees me in bed crying and he just goes, I know I'd find you here.
You told me about that. I forgot.
Isn't that the worst thing you ever heard? I was like, oh, shoot. But so I'm checking my emails Friday. All of Friday morning, I'm like, why have I not gotten it yet? Open up ChatGPT again. I go, why am I not seeing these answers? And it tells me that it normally takes about like 48 hours to tell you, is what it told me.
Like business hours?
Yes, business hours. However, leading into a weekend, so I wouldn't know all weekend. I am just like a terrible mood all weekend. I'm like, I'm just waiting for it to tell me that I failed. I'm just waiting for that answer. So Monday morning happens. And I'm also trying to plan what else I'm going to do with the rest of my life because I did not want to have to take it again. So I'm like, do I become a personal trainer? What do I do? Like, I love health and fitness. Let's do that. But I can't even become a nurse. So why do I care about health so much? But anyways, so Monday happens. I wake up early so I can go to the gym.
Yes, therapy.
I go into my car and I'm like, oh, it's a Monday. Let's just like open up my email. Mm-hmm. I saw that there was an email from, again, don't remember the place. I think it's like NCLEX like confirmation or something. I can't remember. But I like don't even think about it and I just click on it. And it says PASS.
Beautiful.
And I like throw my phone in my car and I just start crying. Like I remember cupping my face with my hands and I'm just like crying. Because also keep in mind, I didn't tell a single soul what day my NCLEX was on. Like I didn't tell anybody other than Addie because I made plans with her for her birthday. And I was like, and then I was like, actually I can't do it because I'm taking the NCLEX, but don't tell anybody. So I didn't tell a single soul what day I was on. So nobody like leading up to it could be like, good luck tomorrow, like text me because I knew that would make my anxiety worse. Yes. So immediately after I got my pass, I called my mom. Okay. I FaceTimed her and I took a screenshot of this pass and I sent it to her. And background on my mom, she's also a nurse. Again, she's like what also influenced me to be a nurse. But I sent it to her and I go, Mom, open up the text message I sent you. And she just starts screaming. She was like the cutest thing ever. And she just started screaming. She's like, yes, Sammy, yes. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like I did this. Yeah. Like that's the only like point where I'm like, oh my gosh, all of this hard work, like it paid off. Like I felt so happy. My dad was there too, and she was like, Brad, she passed. And that's my dad's name, by the way. We call him, his name's B-Rad. He's a bald eagle. He's a bald guy. He's so cool. But anyways, he's screaming, like we're all screaming together. And I sent it to my nurse practitioners I work with, and I'm like, thank you so much for all your help. Like, I literally owe so much of this to you guys. Like, you are all so amazing, and they're all so excited. And some of the nurses I worked with too, as I was a medical assistant. But then after that, like after I passed, for me, then came the hard part of finding a job. And in Utah, everyone and their mother is trying
nursing
to,
school.
yeah, is one trying to become a nurse, but also like go into labor and delivery. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much harder than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going into interview after interview after interview. And of course, they're going to go for the best, like, nurse with the most experience, unless it's like a new grad position. But even then, like, they'll go for people that have great backgrounds and like what they're going into. And again, I've done mainly women's health my whole life. So these places I was going into, they're like, oh, you don't really have any experience here. And I'm like, no, but I obviously went to nursing school for a reason. Like, I have experience. But anyways, so yeah. And then I'm like texting Sarah.
Yes.
And I'm like, Sarah, like, do you guys have any openings? Like, get me something. Like, I just need something just to get my foot in the door somewhere. Like, just to get experience underneath my belt. And she's like, let me talk to my manager. Okay, this awesome manager that we've been talking about. But yeah, so she's like, just let me talk to my manager. And she was like, actually, there is a new grad position opening on my floor. And I was like, oh, this is for real, like a gift from God. Because I was struggling so bad. First, like, again, past in October, I didn't, like, I go in for this interview with Sarah for that position that she was telling me about on her floor. And I went into it and got it, which was so amazing. And I, again, gift from God. Like, I was praying so hard for this position, like for any position whatsoever, because any new grad in Utah was having the hardest time to find a job.
Yeah, that's so true.
So got the position, yay, started in December, and here we are now, obviously working together, having the best time of our lives. But then in February, I ended up also getting Botox certified, which you need an RN for that, which was amazing. And Sarah girl is getting that tomorrow.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yes.
Sammy and I love our friendship because we just influence each other.
Yeah. It's like too much.
Such a mutual, healthy friendship where we both have so many goals in life. And we're very similar minded, like with health and nutrition, wellness. And Sammy is such a hard worker. She's so ambitious. She's always on to the next thing. Like, she gives her heart and soul to everything she does. And so, like, when she told me about this Botox course, I hadn't even really thought about that.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
like, Sammy has already thought about everything you can do with the registered nurse license, which is so amazing.
Which I think is an ADHD cookie.
But I love
it's always
that.
the next thing.
Like, it's so smart to use what you already have.
Yes.
Like Sammy said, you can't do Botox without already having your RN.
No.
And so, just like, actually, after Sammy told me about that,
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT what else you can do with the registered nurse license that other people can't do. And it's just amazing. Like, we both have the growth mindset.
Yes.
Which
I appreciate so much.
I love
our friendship, for real. I'm so grateful. You guys might get sick of us, like, complimenting each other all the time, but I genuinely could not think of a better person that I could do this podcast with. Because Sarah, like, again, we both have such a growth mindset and such a, which is going back to like an insecure thing of like, but also like not being good enough and like always wanting to strive to become better though. Like that always makes us want to be better. And I think that's such a way better and like positive way of looking at things because we're always like, hey, we don't want to be sedentary. We want to use what we have and like use it for good and use it to like make ourselves better and help other people in any way that we can. So yeah, but with that though, what are you thinking about doing? What else are you thinking about doing?
I've thought about this. So, okay, I've been a nurse. I got my license in December of 2024.
Okay.
So I've had my license for about 15 months now. And I this has been such a huge blessing, but I was able to apply for a charge nurse position on my floor, and I got the job. Like,
yes, she did, guys. And it was easy.
no, it was like all the candidates were so good, and all of them
Amazing.
had
They
more
were so
experience
good.
than me, and so I
Yeah.
like I wanted the position, but I didn't have high expectations. Like, again, I didn't want to disappoint myself,
Right.
or like I didn't
Other
I
people.
didn't tell anyone.
No.
that I like my husband knew, and I think that was it. And
Yeah.
I mean, Sammy, like
Yeah.
people on our floor knew I was
Yes.
applying, but I didn't tell anyone else in my life because
Right.
I just didn't want to preemptively.
Yes.
if that's the right word.
No, I think
like,
that is
disappoint them.
yes, and I think that's such a we both do that where we're like, okay, we're gonna do this big thing, but we're not gonna tell anybody
Yes.
until we like do it,
Mhm.
and it becomes achievable for us.
Yeah.
Except for the podcast, because we told that we told everybody.
But we were so excited about this,
Yes.
so we couldn't like not tell people. But anyway,
Yeah.
so in a big blessing miracle, I got the charge nurse position, and so right now I've been training with that.
Mhm.
So that's like in my immediate future,
Yeah,
like leadership, which
which is
I'm
amazing.
I'm super excited to have this like
for
next
you.
step.
Yes.
Because on my vision board that I did in December,
Yeah.
put that I wanted to grow in my nursing career.
Good.
So
Good.
dude, vision boards work.
That's another episode we gotta do.
Yeah. We can talk about vision boards on another episode.
In the future.
Yes.
Yes.
But anyway, so that was one thing that I felt really proud of about myself.
So good.
And so right now we'll kind of see where that goes. I really love women's health. I remember one clinical in particular. I think it was my third semester of nursing school. I was just feeling like nursing was not for me.
Right.
Like I got 3 semesters in, and I didn't think nursing was for me anymore.
And I think everyone goes through that. Like, it's so common. Yeah.
But I did a clinical on the mom baby unit, and I don't really remember like everything about all the clinicals I did, but that one I remember every single patient. I remember my nurse. Like, I remember everything about it because it was so pivotal for me.
Yeah.
It made me realize that I did want to go into nursing. Like, I loved that clinical so much.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm not even on a mom baby unit,
No.
like I'm on
very opposite of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm on a med surge floor, and I remember all my med surge clinicals, and I literally remember being like, I'm never going to be a med surge nurse.
Right.
Like, this is the worst.
Yes.
I remember thinking
it's
that.
so hard. And
it's
especially
hard.
our floor, like, it's the hardest.
Yeah.
It
really is.
Guys, you have no idea. Like, it's definitely difficult, but if you have a good mindset and like you're able to obviously use your critical thinking skills that you've learned and have good time management, it's achievable. Like, you can seriously do anything that you put your mind and heart to, and it'll be great. Is that like what are you trying to do that with the?
I mean, I've thought about, and also the next step is getting Botox certified.
Yes, which is so exciting. Yes.
So maybe work in a med spa, like part-time. I do love my med surg floor now, which is so ironic.
Yeah.
But so maybe somewhere in leadership, or transitioning to, my ultimate goal is to transition to functional medicine.
Very cool.
The naturopathic route.
Yeah, very cool.
I would love to help women, especially women, like all people, but especially women, understand their hormones and their bodies, just everything about women's health in general, just helping them understand and prevent chronic disease.
Yeah.
I am so passionate about understanding chronic disease and preventing diabetes and, controlling diseases with lifestyle, and then not even just controlling, but reversing disease through lifestyle and diet, exercise, all that kind of stuff. So that's where I want to see, like, that's where I want to be. So eventually become a nurse practitioner and probably family medicine.
Good. Yes.
To be able to go into functional medicine, but that's my dream.
That's so good, Sarah.
Let's hear about yours.
Well, obviously, like, as we were talking about, like, women's health has always been a huge passion of mine, and honestly, like, if I could go into like GYN, that would be so fun, and I think I would have such a good time with that, and like helping women learn about their bodies, and like, again, like you said, hormones, and I like being a medical assistant in that area and talking to so many different women. I'm like, there's so many women out there that have no idea, like no idea what's going on with their own bodies. And I just want to like give women power and empower them for sure. But my nurse practitioner that I mainly work with, she's still in my life and I still love her so much. She will be on the podcast, so stay tuned. She will be interviewed. But she already gave me the goal of getting my nurse practitioner within 5 years from now. So that's the goal, is hopefully getting it. I will get it. I will get it within 5 years from now for sure. I need to get that done. But I am hoping to do that, but also helping teach women about exercise and weightlifting and health, and the like protein's a huge thing right now, which I'm so happy about. But a lot of people don't understand like whole food protein. Like that's what's important. It's not just, a protein bar, but like, beef and eggs and all those good things, yummy scrumptious things, like being able to use my knowledge in that way too. And like weightlifting is also something. So maybe even becoming a trainer in a way, or getting other licenses. We'll see. We'll kind of figure it out as we go, but I'm super excited. We do already have, just to close up this episode, we do already have our next person that we're interviewing coming on. However, you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. We're not, yeah. We're gonna keep that a secret for now. It's gonna keep it our little secret, but keep that in the back of your heads. I'm just super excited for it, because I'm very excited for it, and I think you guys should be too.
I think you'll love to hear the stories.
Yes. It's all about the stories, you guys. These stories are going to be crazy. It is another nurse. That's the only thing I'm going to be dropping.
Only
to
thing
you
we're
guys.
giving y'all.
But yes.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and come back next time.
Yay. Bye, guys.